every human being, whether old or young, educated or illiterate, rich or poor, black, white, yellow, indigo, or violet, each one of us, we have got some 5 psychological needs. But I will not talk about all of them. I just want to talk about 3 only. Just 3 psychological needs. The psychiatrists even say that they are actually not needs, but they are cravings for each one of us. Whether you are a man or a woman, they crave for these things. The need to feel important, the need to feel appreciated, and the need to feel admired. I will say one more time. The need to feel appreciated, the need to feel important, and the need to feel admired. These are things that you crave for so bad. And you might not even be aware that you crave for these things. One day, that's how you respond here. Okay. One day I had gone to Italy. I don't even remember what I had gone to do, but I was on my way from Italy to town before they put up the Thika Highway the way it is. And I was in a matatu number 9 coming to town. They used to use Park Road, then Gara Road, then Moranga Road, then town. When I was in that matatu, when we got to Park Road, I thought to myself, I remembered I had a friend of mine, his name still is Richard. And he used to live somewhere along Park Road. And a thought came to my mind and said, since you are on Park Road today, and it is long since you said hi to your friend, why don't you alight and say hi to Richard? Now, before I could process that thought in my mind, there was a lady who had sat behind me in the same matatu, and she shouted at the conductor, and this is what she said, and I quote verbatim, word by word. This is what she said. She said, "Wewe makaga, shukisha hapo." And when the moment she said that, the conductor, without pausing, said, "Madam, hapa hakuna stage." The same spot, I rose up from where I was seated and I walked over to the door, towards the door where the conductor was, and I said to him, "Excuse me, sir," in those words, "would you like to allow me to alight here?" And without pausing, he said to me, "Wacha niangalie kama kuna karau." The same spot. Akagoga hiyo basi ngapa. And I got out and I looked at him and I said to him, "Thank you, sir." He was almost left by the matatu staring at me, because all his life he had never had anybody tell him, "Excuse me, sir," and "Thank you, sir." A question for you. Why do you think I was allowed to alight and the lady was denied? Was it because she was or is a lady and I am, or I was a man? Why? Yes? I appreciated the conductor. Someone else? Yes? I made him feel important. He felt respected. Okay. Thank you for the answers. Let me give you another story. I come from a beautiful place called Nyeri County. Most of the times when I drive to see my mother or do some things in the village, there is a place towards the end of the dual carriageway called Keno. And most of the times there are police officers there, and it is like they have been positioned there specifically to catch on overspeeding motorists. My car's speedometer goes up to 260, and sometimes I don't realize that I am at 180. And just before I get to where Keno is, I see a police officer in the middle of the road doing to me like this. And let me tell you, the moment they do that to me, I make sure I don't drive an inch beyond where they are. I make sure I stop exactly where they are. The next thing I do, maybe you're wondering, how does this have to do with "you're still the one"? Don't worry, go with me. The next thing I do, I lower down my windows. The next thing I do, the third thing I do is, I have never allowed any police officer anywhere to open or to start a conversation with me. I always start the conversation, and this is what I say. Officer, how are you today? And most of the times, you know how the police officers are, they don't respond with that kind of pleasantness. They respond like this. Happy license. And with a smile, I go to my groove compartment, I remove it, and I give it to them. And now they can look at my license, and now they can call me by my name, and they say, Stevie, unajua ulikuwa una overspeed. With that kind of baritone. And without pausing, this is what I say. You guys are doing an excellent job. How did you know I was overspeeding? When I say that, I disarm them, and they say, tulikuonea bali sana, bali sana. And then I tell them, thank you for alerting me. Thank you for alerting me. I'm trying to rush home because my mother is waiting for me. And I need to be back to Nairobi because my wife is just waiting for me. Thank you for alerting me. I'll be careful. Can I have my license now? 95% of the time, 95%, they give me back my license and I don't pay a bribe at all. They give me back my license and I go. Yet, at the same spot where I had been stopped driving at 160 kilometers an hour, I see a motorist who was only driving at 110 instead of 100. And when they are stopped by the same police officer at the same spot, instead of stopping where the police officer is, I will have to exaggerate so that I can drive my point home. They drive 20 kilometers away that the police officer has to get onto a border to get to where you stop. Then when they finally get where you are, what do? You lower your windows this much. They ask you, where is the license? You give to them the license through there. What happens? When they get your license, what do? Mostly what do? Have you ever seen them do something like, you give them the license, they take the license, and they just walk away? Why do you think I am let go? Driving at 180, someone was only driving at 110, and they are made to stay there for 2 hours, 3 hours, taken to the police station and all that. Why? What is it that I do that the other motorists don't do? You don't want to answer me, it's all right. Let me give you another story. Anytime I drive into the city and I'm looking for parking and I can't find parking, and maybe I just need parking for 15 minutes and I don't want to go into any paid up parking, I just drive into any basement parking, any. I just drive. And when I get to the entrance, the soldiers or the askari there, they know the vehicles that are normally parked there. So of course they don't lift the barrier. They come round. And when they come, I lower my window and say, Bari soldier, they say mzuri sana. Then I tell them, I know I am not supposed to park here, but I want to talk to Mr. So-and-so here. If you could only allow me to park for 20 minutes, I would really be grateful. Normally they say like this, mkubwa hapa hawezi kubali. When they say that, this is what I tell them. I tell them, mkubwa ni wewe. If you tell me to park, I will park. If you tell me to go, I will go. When I say that, they do like this. Then I see them walking. And then after some time, and I park. Yes. Let me give you the last story and I will sit down. What do you think is the reason why these guys allow me to park or the police officers allow me to drive away? It's because generally in life, people have been denied a feeling of importance. They have been denying a feeling of appreciation and a feeling of admiration. So the moment they get it, and let me tell you, we are all phenomenal suckers of compliments. All of us, especially women. What do you think would happen? We are not in church. We are not in church, okay? We are in Love Dome, yes. Can I talk? Have you heard me say praise God so far? No. What do you think would happen to a beautiful, wonderful lady who is married to a wonderful gentleman? And this lady is so beautiful. So beautiful, and she does everything excellent. Wakes up very early in the morning to fix the breakfast for the husband, prepares the children to go to school every morning. While she's doing all this, the guy is still snoring inside the blanket. She prepares everything for the guy, lays down the breakfast table, make sure the shoes are polished, make sure the clothes are ironed and all that, and make sure that the water in the jacuzzi is just warm, And the guy wakes up, goes in there, takes a shower, he goes to the closet, puts on, he comes to the breakfast table. And when he comes to the breakfast table, the only thing that he mentions to the wife is that the sausages were overdone, or they were overcooked, or the metura, if you like. That is the only thing he mentioned that morning to the woman. That that means these sausages, what happened to them? Yeah, they're black, yes. That is the only thing he mentioned. Then the lady is a beautiful lady, just like the guy. They both go to work. They work in different places. And the guy goes to work and the lady goes to work. During coffee break, the lady is making a cup of tea for herself in the workplace. Just making a cup of coffee for herself. And because you know how our workplaces are, we are friends even with the people that we work with. We joke even with them. While she's making that cup of tea for herself, a gentleman, someone who happens to be a gentleman says to her, "Hi Lillian," or "Hi Susie," or whoever it is, "would you mind to make me a cup of coffee?" And she says, "Sure, not a problem. How many sugars?" And the guy says, "2 sugars." And this lady prepares the tea nicely to this colleague who happens to be a male colleague. "Let me prepare some tea nicely here, assuming that I'm the sister Lillian here, and I will prepare some tea for this wonderful colleague, friend of mine, who happens to be a colleague." Let me use him because he looks like he is more jokier, so I can joke him. So this lady brings this cup of tea to this guy and says, "Karibu." And this guy says, "Oh, thank you very much. You are so wonderful. Your husband must be the most happiest man in the world." And this girl is thinking, "Oh my goodness me. He didn't even say anything this morning. The only thing he complained about is that the sausages were overcooked." I will leave it to your imagination to imagine what is likely to happen if that kind of conversation can continue 2, 3, 4 times. It doesn't matter how Holy Ghost filled you are. Whoever is giving you compliments, whoever is giving you a feeling of appreciation, admiration, you will fall for them. What do you think would happen to a guy who works so hard every morning? He gets out of that house to go and hustle for the family, for the wife and the children. He goes out and he comes back in the evening, feel tired, exhausted, knackered, smelling of sweat. The shoes are dusty. He didn't even close any deal. He walks into that house, and when he knocks at the door, there's nobody to open the door. The woman of the house is seated on the couch watching Afro cinema. Continues shortly. And she says, "Simwende muangalie nani anagonga mlango." And the children goes and they say, "Oh, it's daddy, it's daddy." So baba, yeah. So the guy walks in and says hi to the woman who is still sitting on the couch watching Afro cinema. Continues shortly. And she says, hi. Then he goes to the closet, he takes a shower, he comes back to the living room and he sits down and he says, "Kuna chai." The woman is doing what? This heat is too high. My goodness. Wow. Tutatengeneza, she says. Tutatengene? He waits. It's dinner time. Stories za chai zimesahaulika. What do you think would happen if one day you say it's by mistake or by bad luck or misfortune, whatever, you even say it's a demon, whatever it is you want to say. This guy, instead of going home one day, he passes by somewhere, and when he knocks at that door, there is somebody there to open the door for him and say, "Hi, how are you, honey? Please, karibu. Please have a seat here. Let me help you with the jacket. Can I offer you some juice? I have passion, I have mango, orange. Which one would you like?" Do you think that guy will ever go back home? Is it that he has purpose to go and start doing all those umalai out there? No. He has been denied the feeling of importance, appreciation, and admiration. Wherever he gets it, psychologically, without knowing it, because we are craving for these things, he will fall for them. Now, here is my closing statement. If you want to make your husband or your wife to still be the one, never tire of giving them a feeling of appreciation. Let me tell you what is appreciation. Appreciation is praise. Giving them praise. Praise. Giving them thanks. My wife is here, right here with me. She will tell you if I'm saying I'm lying, please say I'm lying. But she serves me meal every time, and I don't remember a time she ever served me a meal and I did not say thank you. That's appreciation. You have said that. A good husband says thank you at least 20 times every day. How many times did you say thank you today? They did not. Oh my, oh, no wait. Oh. Saying thank you. Whenever I do shopping for my wife, and actually it's not that I do it for her, I'm doing it for my family. She said, thank you for the things that you bought. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you. It's a habit we have cultivated of appreciating one another. I shower her with praise. She showers me with praise. When we were coming, she was telling me, you know, since the time I met you in 2005, my life has really changed. You have really changed my life completely around. I don't even know where I would be going a day like today if I had not met you. Yes, praise, thanks. You must never tire giving your spouse the feeling of admiration. And admiration, let me tell you what it is I like you. And you give them the reasons why you like them. You list all the qualities. I like those eyes. When you look at me, my heart goes paragasha. I like the way your neck looks like, when you hang a pedal on that neck, you take me to another world, baby. When I look at that figure, when you walk in front of me, I feel like I am walking on the stars, man. Is I like. Appreciation, admiration is I like this. I like this about you. I like this quality about, I like. Feeling of importance. Never tire of giving them the feeling of importance. And the feeling of importance is to make someone know that you need them. I need you. I cannot do this without you. I couldn't have done this without you. I wonder where I would be without you. How many times, when was the last time, maybe I should ask, that you told your husband or your wife that if you had not been in my life, I don't know where I would be today. For some of us, you said it today because it was Valentine's Day. Congratulations. For some of us, we said it last year. For some, they say, kama sijai kuambia nimebadilisha mawazo, ujue bado wewe ni wewe tu. Amini tu. But never fail to give your spouse those three things. There are 5, but I just wanted to mention 3 of them. And they will always feel, in fact, if I stay for too long without telling her I love you, sometimes she will even create a scene so that she can ask me, by the way, do you still love me? So that I can say, oh yes, baby, I still love you. I have not changed my mind, and I am not about to. Yes. Unfortunately, you know what we do? Instead of giving appreciation, we criticize. Instead of giving admiration, we deflate the ego of the other person. Instead of giving appreciation and all the other things I have mentioned, we try to find faults. If you want her or him to still think and feel that she is still the one, let me tell you what you've got to do. You've got to at all times be versed with their highest needs, highest concerns, and highest interest at all times. What is your husband's highest need, highest interest, and highest concerns? What is your wife's highest needs as we speak right now? Highest concerns, highest interest. Some of us have got no clue what that guy that is sitting next to you, what he has been worried about. In closing this first session, let me tell you, men who work with their wives closely succeed. We were sharing earlier today with Pastor Jimmy and Pastor Mercy in the morning, and I actually brought the subject up, and I was saying, look at all the people that actually serve in sincerity and in truth, in honesty, together, connected with their wives, even in ministry. Look at all the churches that are doing well. Look at the House of Grace Rongai. Look at it. Do you see Pastor Jimmy and Pastor Mercy working together? Oh yes. Look at our mother church. Do you see Bishop Muredi and Reverend Veronica working together? You look at all the other churches and you see the ones that are excelling. Look at Bishop Alan Kuna of JCC. Look at everywhere the man is connecting with the wife, they go far. But some of us, because of what I was talking about earlier in the morning, because of the inaccurate knowledge we have gotten from our society and from whatever we were brought up and the schools we went to, the friends we mingle with, we think that you don't need to work with your wife. You need to hide information from your wife. I keep telling my wife, I am an open book. You can read anytime. Thank you very much. My 20 minutes are over. See you after the break.